there, Chocs and Chocettes, and in between Chocobots here for another video review. It's the Digestives Pink Raspberry and Cream flavour. Yes, a very interesting one, these ones. So, yeah, just come out of nowhere really. I don't know if it's celebrating breast cancer awareness, something like that, which tends to be associated with pink and things like this. So, not sure if that's the case, but nonetheless, be aware of it. I'd say it is something to consider for sure. But yeah, we'll see if we can spot anything on here that suggests that, but I can't see anything actually, so maybe it's just a coincidence. But it does look ideal for that sort of thing, so I don't know, maybe it's a missed opportunity maybe. Alright, so 232 grams. How many does that? 15 biscuits per pack. I think that's generally about right, but I'll put a comment on the screen. I'll look back at a couple of reviews maybe. We'll do calories while we're here, why not? Per 100 grams, 512 calories, 26.1 grams of fat, 15.4 which are saturates per biscuit, 80 calories, 4.1 grams of fat, 2.4 which are saturates. So in a cool dry place. Alright, so is it white chocolate? Quality guarantee, get in touch and happy, stuff like that. Wheatmeal biscuits topped with a raspberry and cream flavour coating. Okay, so it's not actually white chocolate and flavoured something else. So, yeah, okay. So bear that in mind, and there's all the ingredients there. Colours: beetroot red, paprika extract. Raspberry and cream flavour coating, 28%. Flour, 39%. Right. It's got farm fat in there, you can see. So it's vegetarians. Alright, so there we go. Find us at McVitie's.co.uk. It's funny how on some products, well, they actually do have the McVitie's coat of arms there. I was going to say, it's funny how on some products they have that and some they don't, but definitely more of a background thing, that one, than the main one there. I do think that's the McVitie's logo to me. I think that one is just, I don't know, doesn't look very nice, and yeah, I don't know. There we go, limited edition. Yeah, so it looks very interesting, doesn't it? It looks very nice indeed. It's implied that there's chocolate there, doesn't it? I mean, that implies to me chocolate, do you know what I mean? But it's, you know, it isn't chocolate at all, so, Well, we just need to move so don't give them over, don't we? So, let's do just that. I'm quite excited for these ones. Okay then everyone, we're going to do these McVitie's Digestives Pink and Open, and why not? Raspberry and cream flavour. Yeah, very exciting, and I'm very excited, so let's get straight into them. The time recording is about 1,200 reviews, not more, so if you like this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe to not done so already, and try to press all my other reviews, what's on the latest ones, such as other digestive reviews, other biscuit reviews, yeah. Subscribe to them, go check those out. I think those too. Okay, so here's what we're up against. Right, so that's just 5, 10, so there's 15 in there. Okay, so, anyway, well, from that look, I don't think it's sort of, the pink doesn't really complement the brown of the biscuit, does it? I don't know why. Well, I don't know why, just not very complementary colours, I guess, but there we go. But yeah, so there is 15 in here. It did say about 15 in the pack, didn't it? So, yeah, you can see I've moved them to a box of 5 there. And here we go. Alright, so not bad. A really pretty good coverage. I seem to remember, I think it was either the blonde coating, the gold coating one, maybe the white chocolate coating one, wasn't usually thick enough to cover all the biscuit underneath, but in this case you can see, I mean, there's some crumbs on the top from the biscuit above it, but generally it's not too bad. Yeah, been doing a good job there. I don't know if it implies there's more of it than usual. Maybe it does, and maybe it's just a thicker colour, I don't know, but overall not too bad. But as I say, you can see that there's bits of biscuit from the one above it. It's been quite hot in the UK recently, so might be why, but yeah. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so let's give it a bit of a measure, shall we? Got the old calipers here. It's going to be relatively typical digestive dimensions, but nonetheless, I don't know what those are as well. Okay, hang on. Okay, about 5.8, 5.9 centimetres in diameter. I guess the thickness, a bit difficult. The thickness, as I say, is quite melty today, I must say. But roughly the thickness is about 7 millimetres. About, so not squeeze it too hard. Okay, well, there we go. So I think let's get a bit of a... It's already snapped this one, actually. Okay, so there you go. You can see the centre there as well. So not a massively thick layer of coating, but thick enough. Eh? It's quite thick enough. I do think this is actually thicker than normal. I'm sure it was perhaps even, well, I don't know if it's half that thickness, but I definitely feel like this is thicker than it used to be. So yeah, you can see on the edge of the bottom one, on the bottom right, it's quite thin there. I think that's probably how it used to be almost, so maybe not much thicker than that. So I don't know if McVitie's watch my videos, but I think I've always said I prefer if they did do thicker chocolate covering or chocolate whatever coating when you do these things. So yeah. Okay, now is there a nice, is there an aroma to it? Yeah, there is, it's a bit of a, you know, you have to get quite close, but there is a raspberry sort of smell coming from it, raspberry aroma. Not sure about the cream side, but yeah. But how does it taste? That's the important one, isn't it? So, Well, let's find out. Serve some up, give it a taste. Okay, everyone, okay, I can't quite show you these very well because they'll all tip out the bottom, as you can imagine. We're going to taste these Digestives Pink Raspberry and Cream flavour, yeah, so why not? So we've got half of one, well, not quite half, but we've got a bit of one, third of one that we got from earlier, of course, yeah, so let's give it a taste. Interesting. It's quite I don't know what to. Let's have the rest of it. Let's have the rest of it. I feel like the flavour's there, but it's a funny one. It's like the actual coating itself. It doesn't seem to last. It seems to just disappear. I get the sort of taste of it. You know, I get the nice raspberry flavour from it, and I guess it's maybe raspberry and cream, but you know, mainly raspberry or something along the sides. I guess the cream side comes from the fact that it is kind of a cream sort of. You know, it's whatever it is, you know, it's some kind of layer of something. So I guess you could say that's the cream part, but mainly tastes of raspberry. I guess a bit creamy, but it's just the fact that the whole thing itself, I don't know, it just seems to disappear quite quickly. So I do get the flavour and I get the digestive, but the sort of texture of the coating goes, and it's not, you know, the chocolate coating when you've had the, you know, chocolate digestive seems to, that doesn't happen with that basically. It seems to last a longer time. So I don't quite know what to make of these. Yeah, they're interesting. Right, let's give it a dunk in a hot drink. You can see actually when I snap these, almost like before when one was broken, it didn't snap it off. It's holding it together. You know, because you see I snapped it, but it's not broken through the top. It's definitely thicker than before. I'm pretty certain of that, and it does look to be a good thickness. So they've definitely made these thicker than normal chocolate digestives and other coverings they've done. All right, let's give this a dunk in a nice warm coffee. See if that does anything. Not bad. It gives it a bit of a more of a sharp taste for some reason, but yeah, not bad, not bad. It doesn't do it a disservice. It's nice actually. Yeah, that softens the biscuit, of course, and it melts the coating a bit. I mean, for me, it reminded me as well of what it does taste. It tastes a bit. It's a bit reminiscent of the coating of party rings, Fox's party rings. It's not the hardness of it, but the taste. It just tastes a bit like that. It is reminiscent of that for me. I quite like these, but they're just a bit out there. They're a bit different than normal chocolate digestives. Basically, there's something just different about them. It's the consistency of the coating is different. It doesn't last. It doesn't melt in the mouth like chocolate digestives do. It's just different, you know. But you do get the flavour, and as I say, and it's thicker as well. They've definitely made this thicker than regular chocolate digestives and the other sort of, you know, chocolate coatings or whatever coatings they've done recently. The gold ones, for instance. It's interesting to the point where, as I say, if you snap it gently, it doesn't snap properly. The coating is still holding it together. You can't see the sort of fault line of the crack, you know. So it's an interesting one. This one, I'm glad that they've done that, and I feel like it does generally work. I just can't. It's just a bit of a funny coating, really. It's a funny coating. I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know. Yeah, let's have one more go. That's one more go. You get a lot of dry biscuit in your mouth, basically, and the coating kind of just melts away. You know, it's a funny one. It doesn't remain coated on the biscuit, sort of. It's a nice flavour, but it's quite ephemeral. It doesn't last too long. But it's still quite nice. I do quite like them, but I just feel like it definitely means the coating lasts a bit longer. But you still do get a prominence of biscuit in there. But I don't think that's too bad of a thing. You know, based on the ratios and things like that, it feels proportionate. And I do quite like them. I feel the flavour's quite nice as well. I just feel like it's just a funny. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's as if it's not quite one thing or another, really. It's a strange one. But I think overall, I do feel like it works, and I feel like it's nice, and I feel like it's a good experience. I feel like you get a nice creamy taste. You do get a raspberry taste as well. I feel like there's enough of it to make it work also. You know, as I say, it's not too thin. I mean, it's still not a ridiculously thick layer, but I think it's probably about right. You know what I mean? I think it would be better if it's thicker, of course, but I feel like this is acceptable, and I think this is what they'd want. And I feel like it works well enough, to be honest with you. Maybe thicker would just be, you know, a bit too much, you know, as far as McVitie's is concerned. As far as I'm concerned, I think I'd prefer it if it's thicker chocolate or covering or whatever coating, raspberry coating on top, raspberry cream coating, or flavour coating. But obviously, I can understand. I get it. I feel like it's sensible. They've done a sensible thickness here. But yeah, it's just a funny. I just can't quite. It's just like it's almost like if you got like a. I don't know, say a cream cake or something like that, where you've got the cream on the top and it just isn't, it's there on the top of the cake or whatever, but it's clearly something that is not quite affixed to the cake permanently, if that makes sense. You know, it's just a, if you got like you have a chocolate coated digestive, the chocolate and the digestive are kind of the two separate things, but they will stick together, remain together, and you won't get the sensation of all the chocolate's gone and the digestive is still there. You know, you might not be able to taste the chocolate as much as you would like because it's not very thick, but you know, it's still always there basically. But this one, I feel like the coating disappears as you're eating it, which is very strange. You know, it's not so typical for this kind of biscuit and this kind of coating. Whether it actually does, I don't know, of course, but it feels like that. It does feel that way. It feels like it just, as I say, just goes away. But you still get the taste. You still get all this, that, and the other. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just unusual, and I think it's thrown me a bit really. But overall, I do like these. Yeah. I think I really appreciate the thickness. I think I get a nice flavour, nice aroma when you get up close. It's not too bad. Overall, it's a pretty good one. This one, chocolate digestives regular, about 3.5 out of 5. I think these ones, I think it's probably one of the better limited edition flavours of these. You know, it's not too bad actually, and you can taste it when I've had ones like all the other random like cherry flavoured chocolate digestives, all these other flavoured this and flavoured that. They've generally just not been strong enough for flavour. This one, I don't think it's quite a 4 out of 5, but it's certainly getting there, and it's certainly one of the better, if not the best, limited edition flavours of chocolate digestive for sure. Yeah, it's definitely up there. So for me, 3.5 out of 5, but certainly, yeah, certainly on the top end of the digestive limited editions, that's for sure, I would say. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See ya.